video time, and I'm driving because I know where I'm going and I'm almost at my destination. I haven't made a video in like at least a week. I have not been making videos at all. Mostly I'm not really motivated to make a video because there's not really much going on other than just basic shit, but just for the sake of checking in on with myself, then I'm making this video. It's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday the 18th of July. July 18th, 2023. It's like almost 2:40, like 2:35, 2:40 in the afternoon. I just got off work at the Waffle House. I love my job. On my way to the lake. I'm in Forsyth County, Georgia. Still. Yesterday, well, today's Tuesday, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I actually drove out to Fairhope, Alabama. Well, it's near Mobile, Alabama. Anyone who's not familiar with Alabama, it's near Mobile. But if you're there, it's Fairhope, more specifically, which is like 30-40 miles outside of Mobile. But I've never been to Alabama before, and it was actually very nice. I'm not gonna lie, other than it being very pretty out there, there's not really much going on in Alabama. It seems like it's just like a slow little state, and there's not that many lights or fucking attractions or people. There's really not much going on in Alabama, at least down 85 through Montgomery, because I drove from Atlanta through Montgomery and then down. I didn't realize that there were a lot of islands out in Alabama. That was cool. There's like, Alabama's like little tail part. There's like a bunch of islands down there. Georgia has some islands too. There's like a nice little subtropic area down in the south. And that was really nice. So, yeah, I just hung out there with my dog. Went to go hang out with my life partner, or whatever we're calling each other these days. That was fun. It was like supposed to be a 6-hour drive, and of course me driving slow and with a partially like handicapped vehicle because of my accident. I went and did a safety inspection before the trip to 2 different mechanics, and 2 different people told me that my car was safe enough to drive down to Mobile, Alabama and back. So it did take me a while. It took me 12 hours because I don't like driving the whole way through. It took me 12 hours. But I made it, and I made it back safe. So that was fun. Much needed vacation. We're just chilling. We're just chilling. That was the intro. My hair is crazy. So, I don't really have much else to report other than I'm working on fixing my van. I'm working on fixing the leaks, everything that has what's wrong with it. I've been getting to the habit of anytime I think of something that I need fixed with the van, I just write it down and then I just make calls about it. So that's what I've been doing. That's basically my plan for the next 2 months, 3 months maybe. I don't know, I think I can kind of waste 3 minutes venting about this. Not really venting, I just think it's funny. There's this very hardworking individual at my job, at my Waffle House. This person is a female, or identifies as a female, and she works her ass off. She works very hard. It's just you don't doubt it at all. Like, she knows what she's doing, and on top of it, she's got a positive attitude. That's when I say someone works hard, that is included with me. Like, you don't just get to be a hard worker and have a shitty attitude. I don't care how good you are. If you have a shitty attitude, it just takes away from all that, because that's the energy that you're putting into your work, and then it all trickles down to everybody. We don't want to deal with anybody's bad attitude, even if they are like superstars. But this girl is a true superstar because she has a wonderful work ethic and a wonderful attitude. But long story totally short, and she's around my age. We're around the same age. We're in the same age group. And she's a parent. There's this older generation guy, at least 60 something, old enough to where, you know, that's his whole personality. Everyone knows that guy. Everyone knows that guy who their whole personality is them being like 100 years old and still walking around. So he's a cook, and he works the morning shift, and she was working the morning shift this time, but sometimes she works the third shift, which is overnight, and he doesn't like working the overshift because he says the tips suck. But she says that for her the tips are good. She gets great tips when she works overnight, hundreds of dollars just for her because she's the only cook, and she has a great attitude on top of that. And he was like, well, you only got those tips because you're a woman. And I did have to speak up because I don't appreciate that. Like, I was gonna let it slide because of his generation, but I just I kind of want to set that tone where how people talk. I get it, it's the Waffle House, and you know, we talk how we want to talk, but even without the Waffle House, that's not something that I like hearing, and I don't like people talking like that around me. You know, by all means, live in your bubble and your misogynist or whatever, you know, narrative, but you're not going to talk that way around me, especially towards someone who genuinely works hard. So I was like, said something along the line. We didn't get into it because, you know, I've only been there for a couple weeks, but I definitely needed to set the tone with him and with anyone else, with her too. Now she knows, like, oh yeah, Luna, Shandy, whatever, Luna's not going to take any kind of disrespect towards me or around me. And I told her, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I told her, I'm like, I'm sorry for him. Like, I know she probably laughed it off. She definitely laughed it off, but I was like, it offended me. I'm like, I take offense to that, because she works hard. And he's like, well, if it was me, then blah, blah, blah. And I didn't get into it. I just kind of left it at that. But I know why he doesn't get tips. It has nothing to do with his work ethic, because he also works hard. But like I said earlier, just because you work hard doesn't mean you get to have a shitty attitude. And, you know, his personality is, I'm just some old guy, so I get to have a shitty attitude. That's his whole personality. It's his programming. So he thinks it's like offensive when people don't tip him. He doesn't, you know, or normal even. I don't know. I digress. That's really all I wanted to vent about, is just like, you know, just old programming and in our language that when we talk about things like, and yes, I know statistically speaking, women do make more tips. And I think it's kind of fucked up. I think that the tipping a woman just because she's a woman or because she's attractive is, it doesn't help anybody. I think it's fucked up. Or guy, you know? I don't tip anybody. I don't care who you are. I'm only tipping people who I know personally. If people I know personally makes my food or serves me, they get tips. But that's just me. And when I do tip, I don't tip them because they were attractive or just because they're a woman or because they're a man. I think it was stupid. But I was like, I jokingly said, like, I'm like, that is highly offensive towards me. I don't know how she feels about it, but because of your age, because I wasn't trying to be offensive to him. He does mention his age so much that I can say, like, yo, because of your age, I'm gonna let that slide. And we laughed it off, and he kept going on about it, but, you know, that's that.